told you that the things that are causing you pain aren't the big dramatic events in life, but they're actually the everyday habits that are happening right under your nose?
Because every day we ingest, we think, or we do actions that quietly chip away at our energy, our joy, and even our connection to other people.
And what's crazy making about that is that every day when we're off and we're cranky or we're feeling anxious or the like, we are teaching our nervous system to behave that way on a regular basis.
And so we're not just talking about today's mood, we're saying that your nervous system starts to get conditioned to exist in a semi-tortured state all the time. That's not good.
So if you want to get out of that tortured state and into a state of more joy, this is the video for you.
Because today we're going to cover half a dozen everyday habits that you are doing that are sabotaging your well-being and the tools to how to get back on track.
Hi everyone, we are Jeff and Ellen, your relationship guides, and we're here to help you navigate life's trails so that you can enjoy more of the trail and have less stumbles.
So grab a drink and your notepad and let's get started.
Hey babe.
Hello again.
Hello, here.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh right, I got a drink.
It's customary.
It is, it wrecks the cheers. It's like bad cheers luck or something.
I'm gonna cheers. I'm not drinking though.
Well, speaking of cheers, we're talking about joy today.
Yeah.
I have a story to segue into our topic.
Great.
Because I was thinking about when we got into relationship in the beginning of our relationship. And I had this notion that I have grown up with from when I was a little girl, that when I got into relationship and I found the love of my life, which is you, that life somehow would go on this upward trajectory of joy. I would be happy. All the stuff that bothered me or that I felt like I had to endure alone in life would go away because I found my life's partner, my soulmate.
So I would be the source of the joy coming into you, like the a big wave that would wash away all of the other.
Just cleanse all the bad out of it.
Yeah.
And then we would skip off into the sunset together and live happily ever after.
Yeah.
That's
that's common because I think a lot of people approach that to relationship like my life sucks now, but when I get a relationship, then life will be better, and that sets your nervous system to see that joy doesn't come from within. I don't create my joy; other people create my joy, and so if I'm not having a good time, hello 1-800-FIX-ME. Yeah, I need something to be taking away my pain.
Can you Uber it over here?
Thanks. 4 to 6 weeks. What? Wait a minute.
Yeah. But I think that is the flaw in the fairy tale fantasy of relationship that is in our movies, in our stories, is we look to the relationship to make us happy. So what that meant though for our relationship was there were behaviors and habits that I was doing every day, the ones I had before I met you, that was undermining my joy, that I wasn't taking ownership. As a matter of fact, if anything, I was relinquishing more ownership off of me and onto you and our relationship.
Yeah.
And I was bringing that into the space. And so when things would go off between us, I'm blaming you or making it a problem in the relationship. And I wasn't taking enough ownership about actually these are habits I bring every day that throw my energy off, and then I'm coming in with my off energy and I'm not owning that or doing enough to change that for our relationship.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's while yes you may come and look to me for like a soothing or reassurance, and that's okay, that happens in a relationship. That's what relationship should be. We look to each other to help modulate energy. But if thematically it becomes the only thing I bring is crank and pain, and it's your job to fix, then it's offloading.
It's off, and then I'm setting myself up because then I see you as someone of service to me. Like this is why you're in my life. And then
I'm kind of walling up like, what now? What do you have for me today? Yeah. That impedes joy. What I do to impede joy is my overdoing of stuff. Means I'm running, and you are sometimes going, hi, Jeff, hi, Jeff, just, and you're wanting me to slow down.
If anyone's ever gone to the grocery store with Jeff, you will see what it's like trying to put stuff in the cart while he is
I'm pushing the cart.
racing.
Sometimes I just have fun with it, but
No,
I'm
you're
pushing
good.
the cart and you're like, oh, you grab a box of something and I'm like moving and you have to catch up to me. I'm around the corner and you're like, where are you?
Yeah, I no longer wear sandals to the grocery store. It's always sneakers.
Running, that is true. You know, sometimes I can get so tunnel vision on go, the busyness of like, get her done, let's get grocery shopping. It's taking way too long to get groceries that I'm missing the point of like I should have just came by myself, right? If we're here together, we're at the grocery store to have the experience together.
Yes. To work as a team.
That's like a hello V8 moment.
Yeah, so that's another really good example of the habits that we bring into the relationship that get in the way of our joy and actually impact our relationship.
Yeah, totally.
So glad we're going to be talking about 6 ways.
Yes, and some of these things are obvious, and they are, but it's important that we pause and talk about the obvious habits that we do or don't do to point out that they're just not a so-so, but they're really important. They have a direct impact on our well-being and our joy. And so let's talk about each of those things so that you can make the changes that help you create more joy in your life. Number 1,
food.
Yeah.
Let's talk about food and how it impacts, because what we put in our body and what we tend to put in our body that throws us off is crap food. Low energy, high sugar, highly processed food that actually drains our energy and impacts our mood on a daily basis.
We end up buying more merchandise. You know, when food has such a long shelf life, like 2 years.
Or ingredients lists that are like so long, and I don't even know.
The packaging has to be so big to fit in the ingredient list. You're like, that's a problem. When we think about food as energy currency to keep our bodies going, what we are putting in our mouths is the fuel that will affect us. So is this a fuel that will increase my energy and keep me going, or am I going to have to fight against the low grade energy that I just put in my body?
Because it's the amount we put in. If we overeat, we are taxing our body. If we're eating foods, think of food as information, and if it's unrecognizable information, our body has to work that much harder and put that much more effort and energy into breaking it down. And then the return on that investment, when it's actually low grade, we actually don't yield the energy that we need to function. And all of that can lead to brain fog, mood impacts, and then actually feeling just literally sluggishness. And we bring that energy into our life and into our relationships.
Yeah, so I know, like for me, sugar and desserts gives me that quick 10-minute high. But after that, that's not a good return, because then my stomach is draining. All the blood goes to my stomach. I feel the pain, the drain. And then with that, I'm now connecting with you or connecting with clients. It's like, it's really crappy, low-grade fuel. Yeah, when we think of like, our body, it's all systems within a system that are all wanting to work together. Number 2 is lack of movement. We sit around too much. We don't move enough in the day.
And when we sit around too much, our energy can stagnate, and literally the oxygen that we need to get to our brain and to our muscles to keep us vital and alive isn't getting there.
Ellen's really good at telling me time to get out of the office, because I can get a little tunnel vision where I just want to go, and I can sit in one position or stand in one position and just be there. But I'm in the office and I'm not taking a break. I'm not getting out and really actually moving much. I've probably used up all the oxygen in the office.
So you need to circulate some to get more going.
Yeah. So the tool is to put a reminder. It might be like a reminder on your phone or your watch that beeps on the hour, something that just is a gentle reminder to, hey, it's time to go.
It's time to move a little bit. And these could be like 5-minute movement break. Could be actually 2-minute movement breaks. It doesn't have to be long, but it just has to be more regular throughout the day. And it really can have a big impact on our mood. Number 3 is lack of fresh air. We sit indoors too much of our time with lack of fresh air and artificial lighting.
And the impact is that when we're around a lot of artificialness, artificial lighting, and fake air, we end up starting to live artificially. We go against nature.
We actually get out of sync
with nature.
The natural rhythms that we have. We are nature. And when we're with nature, that helps us get back into the natural rhythms and sync we're supposed to be in, which again produces more joy. And so when we're inside too much, we lose our flow with that rhythm.
So taking time, if you can through the day, but especially on the weekends, to make sure that you're getting out of the artifice, out of the office space, out of the house, into something so that you can breathe air that's not your house air. If you can do it through the day, that's awesome. Walking around at lunchtime, if you have that break, is just to take a chance to get out of concrete and towards more trees, forest bathing, all of that. We've been hearing about getting in nature, but it's not actually just done, I'm in nature, but allowing nature to influence and to affect us.
To actually connect with the nature once we're there.
So what I do is I go out in the backyard and we have plants. I love gardening. And so, sitting out with a hibiscus and, I touch the leaves.
Oh my God,
I water the plants. And
they are like your babies.
Kinda. But it's a way for me to put attention on nature. Because saying this is important, and being influenced and affected by the nature, sometimes the stillness really helps me because my go-go attitude, allowing that to come over me and affect me, helps change and regulate my mood.
I'm so grateful we have a dog, obviously for many reasons, but one of the things is he gets me out and walking almost every day, and we always start out the walk, particularly when it's really cold, complaining how we don't want to be out there. And then by the time we get back, I think we say it over and over again, I'm so grateful we went for a walk. I feel so much better.
Yeah, I'm more warmed up. My joints are warmed up, but just my energy changes. I'm much less cranky at the end of the walk.
If you're liking this and want a little bit more, we've created a PDF. It's called the Energy Reset Guide, and it's got reflective questions and other tools that are going to help you identify those behaviors that are getting in the way of your joy.
Click the link in the description below and download it to your phone. Number 4 is the micro-critical thoughts that you have. These are the small things like, I look awful, I can't do it, oh, I'm not enough. I suck. All of those little things. And why that's important is because your body and your brain are listening to your thoughts. And this is rewiring your brain to be more critical, to be more negative, to be more evaluatory, if that's a word, to yourself. And when you train your brain to listen to these things by keep bringing this over and over again, you're looking for what you're wanting to see, which is the crap, the little things, the stuff that bug you, because you're saying these little things are important. These thoughts are important, and your thoughts become your reality of what you think about.
And because they happen underneath our thoughts, they're sort of they're background thoughts, and they happen so fast, like lightning speed, and with such repetition, and as you said, our whole being is listening. Then our brain is learning, well, these must be important because they keep coming up over and over again. So we'll put them on speed dial, but all of them lead to feeling bad about yourself. And I can speak about that firsthand. They like swarm my brain, and they're there though in the background, like static noise, but undermining everything that I do. That was stupid. I should have known better. I think that's a big one. I should have known better. They fall under the umbrella too of shame thoughts. So where they're not just thoughts anymore about, oh, that didn't go well. It actually becomes a personal identity, which is more like, I didn't go well.
I like that you're saying that it's that stress to perform, and so end up being pushing energy.
Yeah. It's pushing energy, and it's disconnected energy. And so the answer is never going to come from you changing your behavior or somebody else changing their behavior so I feel better. The answer becomes being more mindful and recognize, slowing my thoughts down enough so I can see those micro-critical thoughts. And that's why they're so pesky. That's why I like the gnat analogy, because they're micro. The big thoughts are when you say something out loud or someone says something to you that's big and obvious and negative, you catch those.
So what's the tool? The tool is to
slow your thoughts down. I have to slow my thoughts down enough so that I can hear what I'm actually saying.
So I think that's really key, is catching it. Because as we said, these things happen underneath our nose, but it's these micro critical thoughts that are bugging you, fraying and making your energy a little frenetic. And not only does it, reduce your joy, but it also, I feel it too, these critical thoughts that we bring to relationships.
Yeah. And if there's ever one thing that I work on to and continue to work on to help me access joy more regularly, like I'd like to, this is the one.
Yeah. Number 5 is being overly busy or overly productive, or the other side of that same coin, which is canceling out to doing nothing.
Because joy exists in the middle. It doesn't exist in the extremes in our behavior. And when we're so busy being busy, we're not present.
Yep.
And when we're canceling out, we're also not present. And so joy actually is something that is a present experience. You have to be connected to the moment to be able to feel the joy that's available in that moment.
And that kind of goes with what we talk about, the nature, is like going with the flow of nature, the ebb and flow, going with the timing of the day, with the sunrise and the sunset. It's the same thing with productivity. Like, life flows. A river is moving. Sometimes the river goes fast. Sometimes it goes really, really slow. It looks like it's barely moving, but it's always within the parameters of staying in life. And when we go against the flow of nature, then we're not going with life. We're fighting the current. We're either going like, that current's not fast enough. Let's go faster. Let's paddle. And that can be me. That's me wanting to drive in 5th gear, pushing past, racing. Let's get to the destination. And the reason why that causes me, us stress, but
Angst.
Stress and angst, is that somehow I envision that between the starting line and the finish line is this divot of life. There's nothing here between the start and the finish. Nothing good is happening here.
So let's just try and get past this divot and get to the finish line. Let's get to the good stuff.
Let's get to the finish line.
Yeah.
But you know me, when I get to the finish line, what's next? Right?
All 4 seconds of satisfaction.
Yeah. We sit in it for 4 seconds and then let's go.
Yeah.
Like even me celebrating and you're like, hey, high five. I'm like, yeah, moving on. And so the overly busyness of life.
Which means, by the way, you're not taking all that effort that you just did, all that life experience you just had, you just glossed over it and you're not taking it in. And that's the meat. That actually is the life part. It's like a sandwich, right? The bread doesn't make up the sandwich. It's the stuff and the meat in the middle that is the most important part.
And me with eating, I seem to always win at the dinner table. I don't know why I'm finished first. Done. 3 minutes. There we go.
Moving on next.
Yeah.
But the other side, can I talk about the other side? Because I think I can play the other side, which is the canceling out. So when you feel overwhelmed, you want to dive in and do to try and get more stuff done. And when I feel overwhelmed, actually, I just want to cancel out and avoid the uncomfortable feeling at all. And that could be canceled out by shopping online or watching a show, or sometimes it could be taking a nap or something. But it's a cancel out, the removal.
Disengaging from life. Yeah.
Right. And there, you just said it. I am disengaging from life. Joy is here in the engaged part, and I'm going in this direction. So as long as I continue to choose to cope this way and live this way and spend more and teach myself I have to spend more and more time this way as life gets fuller and busier for me, then joy is this way, the arrow, joy this way, I'm going that way. No wonder I'm not finding the happiness I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So the answer, the anecdote, right, which I guess is a bit of Captain Obvious, right, is start leaning in toward your emotion and toward life. And again, we come back to slowing things down and making sure you stop and pause. Right? We got to stop and pause to take in what we just did.
Or get up off the couch so that you engage in life, because now
Conscious
is really
engagement.
now is the only time to feel joy.
Yeah.
That's kind of weirdly obvious, but it's like joy is only happening now. It's not happening in the future, because when I complete a task, I immediately go to the next task. And so I'm never really allowing myself to just breathe in the fullness of joy. I'm just like future tense, future tense, future tense. And weirdly, I think I'm telling my nervous system joy is always a future tense emotion.
Or that it takes some extreme. Like, I got to live at the extreme poles of life to get anything worthwhile. And actually, joy doesn't exist there. Joy doesn't exist at the extremes, because we can't maintain that extreme stance in life over time. We will wear out, burn out, or something detrimental will eventually happen.
And the
health
opposite
is in the middle.
Yeah, and the opposite, being on the couch or sleeping away the day or
Not
playing
healthy.
video games or avoiding is not a path to joy either. It's just making the world get smaller.
And
it's closing the blinds.
There's no
it's
creative
hiding.
energy. There's no newness. There's no expansion. And that's everything we're about as human beings. And again, so we're moving away from health, and we're moving more into hiding when we do that. So we want to stop, and we want to lean into engagement and into the middle zone of life.
So I think the tool, moving away from the poles, but when it's here, when life is saying it's not moving the pace you want, instead of the angst and the fight against that, to breathe, that is what life is bringing. Life is bringing more of a slowing down. And like for me in traffic, that's kind of like, that would be like my life lesson, is to, when the traffic slows down and we're only going at 50 or 40, instead of me like, oh, good God, but to say, this is life is moving at this pace, and can I meter my energy to move at life at this pace?
Can I meet life where it's at
And
instead
for
of
you,
fighting it?
and for you, when the current might go a little faster, you're like, whoa, 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 to breathe, I'm going to travel at this speed because the river is carrying me down, and I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to yes and stay with that. So really finding, how can we move from the poles of where you are? How can you come into center? So it's less polarization, less extremes, into, I move with life when life is moving quicker, but I also slow when life is stopping.
Yeah, it's really good. So our last one, number 6, separateness from others. It's the idea that if it's to be, it's up to me. That I am an island unto myself, and the safest place to be is at a distance from others. And the less I have to rely on other people, the better my reality is going to be. When in fact, we know that's not true, because we are wired actually for connection, and nothing that is worthwhile on this planet is ever created in isolation.
I'm going to go do it myself. I'll do the project on my own. I'll make the meal on my own. Oh, I'll go do this on my own. And so we do actions and behaviors that are just like, it's just me. I'll just do it.
I love you have a great term for it, dysfunctional independence. Yeah.
That's not mine. I heard that somewhere. I love it.
Well, you brought it into the household.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this independence, like I'm going to go it alone, and therefore thinking that my joy is only going to happen by me.
But ultimately, though, because we're talking about joy, we are wired for connection for a reason. It is for our survival, for our existence, and therefore we are programmed and wired that connection is joy. That is why we all seek out partnership and friendships, and we work so hard, and we put so much energy into understanding how can I find more of that in my life, and why loneliness is considered an epidemic right now, because people die of loneliness. We don't do well. There's study after study that shows that from animal to humans in isolation, solitary confinement, it's a form of torture.
Yeah.
And so it speaks to our nature. And so when we go against our nature, we go against joy. It's that simple.
Yeah. And so the tool is to obviously engage more, but some of the things to engage more is, if you're in a romantic relationship, make meal together. Do something together that allows you to influence and the other person to influence.
Ooh,
and so
laundry is good for that too.
Even doing laundry, because, a pain moving it from the washer to the dryer, but if we do it together, many hands make light work, makes it a little bit better. But even if it was just with friends, making a meal together, like either inviting a friend over to a meal, or you go over And it's not like prepare the meal and then I present the meal. But no, go over and chop up the vegetables together. Go shopping together for the vegetables.
Actually, we've changed our ritual at Thanksgiving. I think it came actually by default one year when we were running behind on preparation for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so we had everybody, like all hands on deck. And so we had everybody chopping and cutting, and everyone said it was their favorite Thanksgiving. And now, as a ritual, every year we have that same family come over. Everyone gets prep time and a job, and we all make the meal together.
Yeah. Everyone's in the kitchen. It's promoting family, co-creation, togetherness.
And everyone enjoys, I think, the meal better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even in a professional setting, like, hey, can we work next to each other while we're doing this project? This just kind of putting an end to so much individual approach to your life, so that it's more togetherness. Walking together, something so that there's more togetherness, more experience of being with other people, so that you recognize joy is in between you and I. So here's the bottom line. Most of your suffering is not random. It's because of habits and patterns. And the good news is that you can change your habits.
So if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you part of our community.
And check out this next video to keep the good times rolling.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.